Welcome back, you football fanatics, and guess what? We are in the playoffs. It's week 15, and it's time to get lit on the tree right after this. Oh, welcome back, you beautiful people, and guess what? We are in the playoffs. We are rocking and rolling, except for my Yahoo lineup, which lost last week, unfortunately. We got our asses kicked. We did not stand a chance, but two other teams I have in the playoffs in both semifinal time, and we are ready to take home that cash, baby, baby. Last week's lineup in DK that I gave you sucked, but the other lineup I put together cashed in, did very well. Had a couple other lineups that did well. Remember to keep the conversation going with me because the lineup that I give to you here might not be the one that's the best, but I do use players out of it to maneuver and manipulate other lineups and bring home cash, as you see. So before we get into the picks for the week, you know what we have to do first. Light up that tree. Wish me a Merry Christmas. Starting out at that QB position, we got a different one this week. Drew Lock. Dude, a couple weeks ago we were making fun of the guy thinking he was gonna suck balls, but guess what? We were wrong. He's solid. He's hitting his receivers, he's got a solid tight end in Noah Fant, and I think he's gonna put up another 20 points this week. He has to, he has a lot to prove. So let's get Drew Lock in the lineup, save some money at the QB position, because we're gonna kinda go heavy in others. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna pair Lock with the running back Patrick Lindsay this week for a nice floor. Just in case you got some screen passes with him, and Lindsay might get his 15 touches, possibly 20. I do feel like KC's defense has been strong of late, but do think that this week Denver will show up to play. They have a big rivalry, it's not gonna be one of these blowout games, and expect Patrick Lindsay to put up some solid numbers. My next RB, Chris Carson. Guys, Penny is out. Now that being said, there is a couple other guys. There's CJ Procise there. I forget who else the other guy is. But Carson is going to carry the load. They have Carolina, and guess what? Carolina's run defense is straight garbage. So start the fuck out of Chris Carson wherever you can this week, because I believe his floor is very tight at 15 points, with an exception to get 2 touchdowns possibly out of this game. So get that dude in your lineups. Before we get into those wide receivers, you know what we got to do. Break time, baby. So my first wide receiver that I'm gonna go with has been strong as fuck lately, and probably one of the top wide receivers the last couple weeks, AJ Brown. Guys, holy shit is this kid good. We talked about him last week. You could go back to last week's conversation that I had about him and just listen to that. The guy's solid, put him in your damn lineups, would you? The other wide receiver, Keenan Allen. Guys, consistency is key this week. He has come down a little bit in price, which is why I wanna throw him in. The Chargers are fighting for playoffs. They don't look great, but they need to in order to get in. So Keenan Allen, that Phil Rivers connection, I really think he's gonna get a large target share this week. So expect a good floor at 10 to 15 points with a possible huge breakout game that they've been looking for from Keenan for weeks. So my final wide receiver, we gotta go down to Tampa Bay. It's not Godwin. Evans is out, so who steps up? Brashad Perriman. We've seen him the last 2 weeks put up some solid numbers. I think it was like a 10 and then 16 or 14 last week. So this week, with Evans out and everybody looking at Godwin, Perriman gets open a lot. So watch him, he might get a touch, he might get his 9 targets to 10 targets and have a huge breakout game. So using him at $4,900 is able to garner us some pretty heavy names in this lineup, like a Lindsay, like a Keenan Allen, and like AJ Brown. So we have a solid floor, and our flex is gonna be really heavy too, and I'll talk about that, and our tight end, right after we get our faces correct. Oh, it's so right. So if I was to ask to you, who's the #1 tight end the last 2 weeks? I bet you couldn't even answer that question. I bet you'd be like, that's Travis Kelce. Something like that. And you'd be wrong. Fucking Tyler Higbee. Where has he come from? He's shown no flashes before. Everett was the guy there. Once Everett goes out, all of a sudden, Higbee comes to play like, hey guys, I'm the best tight end in football. We're all like, okay, we'll start you now. With Everett being out, it happens again. Get him in your lineups. Dude is only costing us $3,900, which is awesome. Dude, Tyler Higbee, he's gotten me this far in yearlies. I'm gonna play him again. I suggest you do the same in all your lineups this week. And in our flex, another tight end, we are gonna pay up for him, Travis Kelce. We talk about consistency. We talk about people needing to win games. And I think Travis Kelce is going to get in the end zone. He's going to get at least 5 targets. Look, 12 points, possibly a 20 out of your flex and a tight end. Look, spend the money there. If you want to change him and put him as your normal tight end, go right ahead and then swap out somebody else in the flex if you don't like a Tyler Higbee this week. But let's talk about it, keep the conversation going, and we'll maneuver players around. But that's who I'm really enjoying this week in the flex, is the nice Travis Kelce. And before we touch that defense, let's spark it up one last time, peeps. So the last thing I'm gonna talk about is the defense, of course. And we've been talking about them all year, guys. This is a no-brainer this week, other than me, who's an asshole because I instead started the Ravens on Thursday night. And guess what? Had the Patriots, took them out last minute, but should have went with them because I'm an asshole, went with consensus rankings. The rankings said the Ravens were number 1 this week. My buddy said, let's go with the Ravens, and I'm an asshole and should have just stuck with my gut and who got me there, which was the Patriots. Guys, do it. They're the work. It's Cincinnati. Yeah, they might move the ball downfield, but expect some big points out of the Patriots this week. They're a solid play in your defense, so start the Patriots and get yourself a nice winning lineup that hopefully looks something like this. Maneuver things around. Hopefully you guys could get into the money again. Let's talk Sunday morning. Always DM me last minute around 11:30, 12 o'clock. I have all my lineups set about then, and then we could share some other lineups that I might have for you. Thank you guys so much for watching. You know what we gotta do before we get out of here. We are gonna take a fat dab of some of this beautiful sugar wax out of the Christmas MJ Arsenal and the G Pen Connect. Oh boy. I want to thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. As always, we've had a great season so far. I hope a lot of you are in the playoffs and hanging out and getting lit on your Sundays and getting in the money as well. I have had a lot of fun out there getting to know some of you guys, talking football all season. It's sad it's coming to the end. We got 1 week left of fantasy. I might go to week 17. I'm not sure yet. If you want me to do the week 17 because it's really weird, I'll do it. But it's probably going to be the worst lineup that you're going to see because we never know what's going to happen week 17. That's why usually fantasy football only goes to week 16. That being said, let's get this sucker roasting. Make sure you're like, share, comment, and subscribing here. Don't forget to follow me on my socials at GoStoner Life. Please don't forget to DM me your lineups, guys. I really love chatting football with you guys. Hope you guys stay beautiful out there. Keep doing what you're doing for the community. And most importantly, stay lit.